I was at a work event not long ago. One of those things where you don't know many people, the drinks aren't strong enough, and you spend the first 20 minutes staring at your phone like it's sending you urgent updates about nothing. I got cornered in a conversation with someone I had nothing in common with. Nice enough person, but we ran out of things to say in about 4 minutes, and yet we stood there for another 15, nodding, recycling the same three observations about the room. Both of us completely aware that neither of us wanted to be there. Neither of us doing a single thing about it. All I had to do was say nice meeting you and walk toward literally anything else. A table, a wall, a fire exit. Didn't matter. But I couldn't do it. Something stopped me. Every single time. And the more I thought about it afterward, the more I realized this wasn't a personality flaw. This wasn't me being awkward or anxious or bad at parties. This is a universal, deeply human, scientifically documented problem that affects virtually every person alive. Nobody knows how to end a conversation, and the reason why will genuinely surprise you. A researcher at Harvard named Adam Mastriani spent years dreading parties. Not because he disliked people, but because he kept noticing something strange every time he walked into a room. He'd look around and think, what if every single person here is stuck in a conversation they desperately want out of? Trapped only because they assume the other person wants to keep going? That thought haunted him enough that he turned it into a full research study. And what he found should stop you cold. 2%. That's it. In study after study, conversations almost never end at the right time for everyone involved. Which means if you've had 100 conversations in your life, and you've had thousands, roughly 2 of them ended the way everyone actually wanted. The other 98 were either too long, too short, or ended at exactly the wrong moment for at least one person. But here's where it gets truly strange. In more than half of all conversations, both people wanted the exact same outcome, either keep going or wrap it up, and still couldn't make it happen. Same goal, same information, complete and total failure to coordinate. If that were a group project, everyone would fail. If that were a business, it would go bankrupt in a week. And yet this is happening in conversations all around you, every single day, in every language, in every country, across every culture on Earth. So why can't we just say it? Why can't 2 adults, who both want the same thing, simply make it happen? Researchers have a name for it, a coordination problem, and it works like this. Both people in a conversation are carrying the exact same piece of information. I would like this to stop, but neither says it out loud. Instead, they wait. They assume. They fill the silence with noise and recycled observations until something finally collapses under its own weight. The reason is something researchers call a social rupture. Saying "I'm ready to go" breaks an invisible contract. The unwritten social rule that says you never let another person feel unwanted or dismissed. Most people will go to extraordinary lengths to avoid committing that rupture. So instead you say, "Oh wow, that's so interesting," for the 8th time. You bring up a cousin nobody asked about. You comment on traffic in a city you've never visited. You do anything except the one thing that would actually end it. And the longer it goes, the harder it gets. Because now you've been nodding enthusiastically for 10 minutes, and suddenly saying you need to leave feels like a betrayal of the performance you've been giving. So you keep going, and the other person keeps going, and both of you are completely aware of what's happening, and neither of you does anything about it. Here's the layer that makes it even worse. It's called the liking gap, and it's one of the most consistently replicated findings in social psychology. After a conversation ends, people dramatically underestimate how much the other person actually liked them. You walk away convinced you came across as boring, or nervous, or too much. You replay the whole thing. You cringe at something you said 20 minutes in. You assume the other person noticed every awkward pause. They didn't, because they were too busy doing the exact same thing. Both of you were performing interest. Both of you were waiting for the other to blink. Both of you went home and dissected a conversation the other person had already forgotten about. This is why phone calls with certain relatives last 45 minutes when the actual content ran out at 12. You've already heard the health update. You know about the neighbor. There's genuinely nothing left. And yet neither of you hangs up first, because hanging up first means you care less. So you take turns almost ending it. Well, I'll let you go. No, 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 it's fine. I'm not doing anything. And then another 20 minutes just disappear. It's why text conversations dissolve without a real ending. The replies slow to single words. Someone sends a thumbs up. Then silence. Both of you technically still in the conversation, neither willing to be the one who officially closes it. It doesn't end. It just stops, the way a fire does when there's nothing left to burn. A social psychologist at Dartmouth described it this way. Conversations are, in almost every respect, remarkable acts of human coordination. We read each other's tone. We take turns without thinking. We build on each other's thoughts in real time. And then, right at the very end, it all collapses. Because nobody wants to be the one who says stop. We invented written language. We map the ocean floor. We split the atom. And we absolutely cannot end a phone call without a 4-minute runway of fake farewells and the, no, you hang up first. The researcher's fix is simple, uncomfortable, and correct. Whatever you think the other person wants, you're probably wrong. So leave it the first moment it feels appropriate. Don't wait for permission that isn't coming. Say it was good to talk. Mean it if you can. Then actually leave. Don't reopen a topic on your way out. Don't say one more thing. It is never one thing, and it is never small, and both of you will be standing there for another 10 minutes before either of you realizes what happened. Here's the part I keep coming back to, though. We don't get stuck in conversations because we're socially broken. We get stuck because we care about not making someone feel dismissed, about not being the person who clearly wanted out. That impulse, that instinct to protect the other person's feelings, even at the cost of your own time and comfort, that's not a flaw. That's one of the better things about being human. The problem is that the other person is doing the exact same thing. So instead of two considerate people having a clean, natural ending, you get two considerate people trapped in a mutual hostage situation neither of them created, and both of them are too polite to escape. The conversation was probably fine. They probably liked you considerably more than you think, and if it went on too long, that just means you were both too decent to be the one who ended it. There are worse things to be, but next time, leave 10 seconds earlier than feels right. Say it, mean it, walk away. The other person will feel a wave of quiet relief wash over them the moment you go. They just won't say so, because that would be rude.